How many times when you wake up in the morning, you you get up and you go on your phone and you scroll and you stare at it, and then it's been an hour or so or two even, and in this in this time we don't even in this time day and age we don't even think about going on our phone. We just do it. It's just a, a force of habit. In this time, we know someone that has a social media account. In fact, we know a lot of people that have a social media account. And and let's actually look at the stats and see how many people actually have a social media account. It is in 2019. It was recorded that about people spend about 2 hours and 23 minutes on social media per day. That's daily, every day. And let's look at and see what are the main reasons why people go on social media. It's because people want to they they want to be caught up to date, and they want to see the news on their social media platform. 40% say that. 39% say that they want to stay in touch with their friends and long and family that lives far away. 38% say that they want to find something that's funny and entertaining. They want to see millions and millions of memes. Uh, Two of the most common stirs on social media. There was a theory that was done on a TED Talk recently. The speaker was going about on how there's this theory called social currency, which is a lot like the dollar currency, which is literally something that we use to attribute value to something, to a good or service. And social media, with all these likes, comments, and shares, have become this form of social currency by which we attribute value to something. In making, we call it the economy uh, economy of attention. Everything is competing for our attention, which is great for sales, for businesses, and in the market world, but in the social media world, we are the product. Every We are always wanting to have someone's attention, either if it's our friends, our family members, or anybody. Another theory that she goes on to say is we have our FOMO moments, which stands for fear of missing out. We usually don't want to be left out, or we don't usually want to miss out on anything. I know for me that I was probably one of the last kids to be picked on any sports team, or any team on that matter. So I know what it's like to know I don't want to miss out on anything. And 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 people had this fear of not wanting to miss out. But the problem with that is people is that people, they will spend hours and hours and hours on social media. They always want to be caught up on everything, whether it's their friends or the news, whatever. But it winds up feeling empty inside of ourselves, and when we don't end up being productive at all. Social media has taken a huge toll on our mental and physical lives. People have There's this new platform called TikTok. I think it came out a year ago, and they do these challenges, And the new and 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 the new challenge that came out a couple months ago was called the Skull Challenge, which was incredibly dangerous. It had people end up in the being hospitalized. It had people end up being physically, extremely physically hurt and mentally hurt. And in this article written by Jessica Brown, she she goes over on on how depression, on how social media has had people feel depressed, extremely depressed in that matter. About there was two studies about on how 700 students found that they were feeling depressed, on how they were feeling hopeless, and they felt worthless. And there was another study on anxiety, on how people who've had more access to social media than others have had incredibly high anxiety levels, extremely high stress levels, extremely high worry levels, extreme that they would always have trouble concentrating on their work. And actually, there was a study. Jessica Brown did this study in Lifeway. They concluded that tweeting is is har- is harder. That tweeting is not is harder to resist than than resisting grabbing a cigarette. It is the researchers concluded that it is harder to not resist social media than to resist alcohol. They concluded it. There are risks of having social media, of having any sort of social media, and I do urge you to count the costs of whatever social media that you consider having. You know, is missing out a little bit, is missing out just a tiny bit. Is it worth it? Not having to miss out on, is it really worth it? Count the cost for your physical and mental health sake. Count the cost just for your own sake. Thank you.